Okay, let's get right into it. For years, traveling to China meant you had to navigate this really complex visa process. Well, that is all changing. In a huge policy shift, China has basically thrown its doors wide open, making it one of the easiest major countries in the world to visit. So if you've ever wanted to explore the country, now is absolutely the time. And this is your guide.
And this isn't some small little change. To give you a sense of the scale here, 1.4 million people. That's the number of people who entered just Shanghai visa-free in the first 6 months of 2025. That's more than triple the same period last year. So you see, this isn't just a policy tweak. It's a full-blown tourism revolution.
So what's really going on? Well, after nearly 3 years of pretty strict controls, China is making this major push to reconnect with the world. And it's not just about tourism. It's about making travel for business, for family visits, for cultural exchange, you name it, radically simpler than it has ever been before.
But what's the why behind all this? Well, it's a very deliberate, very strategic move. The goal is to reignite the tourism sector, for sure, but also to attract foreign investment and strengthen diplomatic ties. To put it simply, Beijing is rolling out the welcome mat to bring people back in. And you know what? It's working.
Okay, let's get into the specifics, right? For most people, the simplest way to get in is through the new 30-day visa-free policy. This is the main event, really, and it covers a huge number of countries. Now, there are a couple of ways this works, but let's start with the one that affects the most travelers, the unilateral policy. So the key term you're going to hear is unilateral, and all it means is that China is saying, hey, you can come visit us for 30 days without a visa, no strings attached. It's a one-way street designed for maximum convenience. Now, do keep in mind, a lot of these are trial policies, so it's a really good idea to check the expiration dates. Right now, most are set for late 2025 or even into 2026.
And who actually gets this access? Well, the list is massive, and it keeps growing. We're talking about almost all of Europe, France, Germany, the UK, Russia, you name it. Key partners in Asia, like Japan and South Korea, are on the list, plus a huge block of countries in the Americas and the Middle East. Oh, and Australia and New Zealand are included too. In total, the list covers over 70 countries.
Now, besides those one-way offers, there's a second path, mutual agreements. China has these reciprocal arrangements with dozens of other countries. This just means that citizens from places like Thailand or Serbia can visit China visa-free, and Chinese citizens get to do the exact same thing in return. Fair is fair.
But what if your country isn't on that big 30-day list? Or maybe you just want to make a shorter stopover as part of a bigger trip through Asia. Well, this is where a really savvy travel hack comes in. The transit without visa policy, which has been massively expanded.
So how does this hack actually work? You've got two main options. There's the basic 24-hour transit, which is available to almost everyone, but it's super restrictive. The real game changer is the 240-hour option. That's a full 10 days. It's available to citizens of 55 countries, including the US, Canada, and the UK. And the best part? It lets you travel not just in one city, but across entire regions, like the whole area covering Shanghai, Jiangsu, and Zhejiang. Okay, so how do you do it? It's surprisingly straightforward. First, and this is absolutely critical, you must be in transit. That means you need a confirmed ticket to a third country. A simple round trip from your home country just won't work. When you land, don't just wander over to the main immigration lines. Look for the special dedicated transit counter, fill out the little arrival card, and show them your passport and your ticket for your next flight. And that's pretty much it.
Now, here's a little pro tip from travelers who've been there, done that. Be prepared for a few questions, especially when you're checking in for your flight to China. Some airline staff might not be totally up to speed on this policy. Just have your onward ticket printed out or ready on your phone. They might need to call a supervisor, they might flip through a rule book, but as long as your documents are in order, you will get through.
All right, so beyond individual travel, China has also set up some very specific visa-free pathways for certain destinations and certain types of travelers. This is especially true if you're traveling in a tour group or maybe arriving by cruise ship.
You can see here just how varied these regional policies get. For instance, if you want to visit the tropical island of Hainan, citizens from 59 different countries can stay for 30 days, totally visa-free. If you're on a cruise, your tour group can enter through one of 13 coastal cities for up to 15 days. There are even special 6-day rules for tour groups coming from Hong Kong into the Pearl River Delta. So it's always worth checking if your specific travel plan fits one of these unique policies.
Okay, so no matter which visa-free route you end up taking, there are a few essential, non-negotiable rules that everyone needs to follow. These will just make sure your trip is smooth and completely hassle-free. First thing, your purpose for visiting is limited. This whole system is for tourism, business meetings, visiting family, or just transiting through. You can't use it to work, to study, or for journalism. For those things, you'll still need a traditional visa. Make sure your passport has at least 3 months of validity left on it. And here's a really important one: accommodation registration. If you're staying at a hotel, they do this for you automatically. But if you're staying at, say, a friend's apartment, you have to register at a local police station within 24 hours. And finally, remember, these visa-free stays cannot be extended. You just use your allotted time and then you have to exit the country.
So, with all these sweeping changes, China has literally transformed itself from a country that was often seen as difficult to access into one of the most open major destinations on the entire planet. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As this new era of travel really gets going, how is this unprecedented level of access going to reshape the flow of people, of ideas, and of commerce all across the globe? It's definitely something we're all going to be watching.